help you have a smooth transition, here's some of the top things you should know about living in Idaho. And please feel free to ask any questions along the way in the comments below, because something on my list may spur other questions you didn't even realize you had. In Idaho, you have to winterize your home. That was new to me coming from Southern California. What does that even mean? So you disconnect your hoses from the outdoor hose bibs. You blow out your sprinklers with any standing water that may be left in the lines. And if you have a pool, you would do the same for it. This is all to prevent pipes from freezing once temperature drops below freezing. Idaho weather is completely unpredictable. Boise experiences all 4 seasons, and the running joke is that we can experience all 4 seasons in a single day and without much notice. So it means it's important to have a jacket and umbrella in your car, even during the warmer months. Especially important when you're out watching your kids' outdoor sporting events. Because let me tell you, you never know what kind of weird weather vortex you may get stuck in. Still on the topic of weather-related things is snow tires. So the Treasure Valley typically gets around 20 inches of snowfall each winter, which isn't a lot, mind you, but when it does snow, the roads inevitably get dicier to navigate. So I prefer having snow tires for those winter months, period. While not overwhelming, we do have bugs, like mosquitoes, especially near waters, lakes, ponds, river, irrigation canals. So pack repellent if you're out for outdoor activities during the twilight hours. And then there's flies. There are flies in the summer months. Not really sure why, maybe because there is still so much agriculture in the valley, but if you leave your back door open, expect to find some unwanted visitors. And of course, don't forget ticks that love our furry friends. The greenbelt near the Boise River is a prime spot for our pets to pick them up. So you'll want to make sure that you're staying on top of their preventative medicine. Speaking of the Boise River, it is one of Treasure Valley's main sources for irrigation water. Water is diverted from the river through these large irrigation canals and then these smaller irrigation laterals. So access to this irrigation water is usually from April through September or October, and then it gets shut off for the winter. But amazingly, the grasses all come back in the spring. And here's a fun fact. Along the banks of the Boise River in the city of Eagle, you find these old car shells. They were originally placed there probably 60 plus years ago to help with riverbank erosion, but they make for great Bonnie and Clyde type stories for our kids now. Idahoans are just known for their friendliness. So don't be surprised if a cashier or a stranger strikes up a conversation with you while standing in line at the grocery store. At first, it was really strange to me, and now I'm the one starting the conversation about how is their day. Trees like cottonwoods and junipers are native to the area, and they can trigger allergies. So keep this in mind if you're sensitive to pollen, and maybe try to visit first during the spring or early summer months to see how you react during our allergy season. People float the Boise River. In fact, there is an official float season, which usually starts around late June. But don't worry, there is also a website that keeps you informed on river conditions and natural hazards, so you can partake in this local tradition safely. You better like the outdoors to live in Boise, even when it's cold, because Boise offers outdoor activities year-round, from skiing and snowboarding in the winter to hiking and biking and fishing in the warmer months, and everyone participates. The Treasure Valley is close to several hot springs, like the springs in Idaho City and Kirkham Hot Springs. So it's a super easy day trip to go to enjoy. But if you are new to hot springs, I'd brush up on hot springs etiquette first. If you're new to my channel, I'm Toffel, Global Real Estate Advisor with Group 1 Sotheby's International Realty. I specialize in helping you relocate to Boise, Idaho, and anywhere in the Treasure Valley. If you need help with any of your real estate needs, send me a text or an email. My information is on the screen. And please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notified every time I drop a new video. And if you're watching on your television screen, you can scan the QR code to contact me directly. While there is bus services here in town, having a car when moving to the Treasure Valley is almost absolutely necessary. I mean, Ubers just aren't that common here, but we do have a bus system that runs for our school districts, so you don't have to be saddled to the pickup line if you don't want to be. The Treasure Valley has a high water table, which means that groundwater sits close to the surface. A lot of that has to do with our clay soil, which traps the water. It can cause water in your crawl space, or it may not. It's very random and can affect a single home in a neighborhood or the neighborhood as a whole. And it's nothing alarming and that can't be remediated, but it is something to be aware of so that you can manage it if water is present. When you purchase a home in the valley, your inspector will tell you whether there is water in the crawl space. And if so, a sump pump is installed and you maintain it just as you would any other system in your home. Idahoans love to complain about traffic. We have a main road that runs through Meridian and into the city of Eagle, aptly named Eagle Road, and it may be the busiest road in the valley. Oh, I don't know, don't quote me on that, but it sure seems like it. But even with that being said, the road still moves. So I don't complain about it, but of course I came from Los Angeles, where I could literally sit on the freeway for an hour and not even travel 3 miles. So it's all relative. But we also have a lot of road projects taking place throughout the city as a whole, and that can add to the continual road frustration. Utility costs are just lower in Boise than elsewhere. Electricity is cheap, gas is cheap, water is cheap. You get your irrigation through the Boise River. When you call up to set up your service for the first time, you get an actual person on the phone. I mean, most of it you can probably set up online, but those that you can't and you have to call, it's not an automated system that's hard to navigate. You actually talk to someone. There are so many local restaurants that feature farm to table dining options, and that was new to me coming from LA. And that is such a great way to support the local community and local farms. And then during the right seasons, you can go huckleberry picking or hunting for morel mushrooms in the mountains. I'm sure I'm not saying the mushroom name right, and people will let me know in the comments below. I know earlier I mentioned that everyone loves to be outdoors. Not only wants to be outdoors, they want their toys. They love their toys and their RV garages that house their toys. It is such a huge thing here. People have RV garages without having an RV. Why? Because they have a boat, they have razors, they have mountain bikes or snowmobiles or jet skis. And I always laugh when visiting with new buyers for the first time and they want a garage bay for all the things they will buy when they get to Idaho, and not one of the items on the list is an actual RV. Boise has great school options. One of my favorites is that you can homeschool, but you can also do a hybrid of homeschool and traditional school. They make it easy. There are also in high school, there are also these career tracks, which I think are super cool if a student shows an interest in a particular area. We didn't have that option back in our California schools. My older boys now, one is doing a sports medicine track and the other is doing law enforcement, but they have automotive options, agriculture options. I mean, just a whole plethora of choices, and that makes the education system relatable to the kids of today, that's just cool. Boise can experience air quality issues during wildfire season. This is usually during late summer because we are a valley. The smoke blows in and then it settles between our mountain ranges and it's just too heavy to clear out. Then during the winter, we also experience something called the inversion effect, and that's where the cold air gets trapped down low in the valley. And again, it's too heavy to rise above the mountains. But it's important to stay informed and take precautions if you do have respiratory concerns, because those seasons, those times of the year can cause problems. So sun orientation in the valley is a really big thing when purchasing a home. And that is because if you have a west-facing backyard, you're going to possibly get the brunt of the sun in the evenings. And during summer months, the sun may not even go down until 10 o'clock at night. But then on the flip side, during winter, the sun, it'll go down at 5, maybe even a little bit earlier. So you have these short days during the winter and then these super long days during the summer, which makes it great for summer activities and getting outdoors and such. But I didn't realize that there was such a thing as a orientation that was so important when purchasing a house before I moved here, that, west facing yards or driveways, maybe the snow melts earlier during the winter on those west facing driveways versus east facing driveways where the snow will stay or the ice will stay a little bit longer. So orientation of homes is definitely a thing to be aware of when purchasing a home in the fall. Here's my bonus tip about things you should know before moving to Boise, Idaho. And that's, did you know that Idaho is a hot button topic? That surprised me about moving to Idaho, and you should know if you're moving here, just be prepared. Those that have never visited have strong opinions about who we are as Idahoans, and those that have grown up here have strong opinions about those who have migrated here. So just be aware that you'll hear chatter from both sides, but the state is friendly and is amazing. For more videos about Boise, Idaho real estate, click on one of my videos on the screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.